Is my microphone good now? I don't know if my microphone's working, but I think it is. So I'm gonna me. I think it should be fine. We're fine. Um. So this is second video for this channel attempt. I'm doing great. Um. That being said, I am doing sort of a July look. A look at July, the month of July, for what's coming through. And I've done sort of a pick a pile kind of concept, and I'll show the cards in a second here. And it's just, I know a lot of tarot readers do pick a pile type stuff, and I sort of wanted to try it and just see if it's something that might work for me doing readings, to see if I can really like zone into specific energies. So yeah, that being said, our piles, we have King of Acorns. So it's hard to, I might grab my light here and see if we can get this just with the window. So it is a horse, beautiful horse card. That's the first pile. Second pile is the Chariot with a rhinoceros. This is so jank. I love that I'm so unprofessional that I'm just pulling my duck light. Duck light, by the way. Wait. This is my light. Thanks to my good friend. One of my good friends gave it to me and I adore him. And then side rant. Okay, third card is the Shadow. So it is this jackal, which is really hard to see for some reason. Funny that the light isn't working on the Shadow card. Feels pointed for some reason. Okay. So I'm gonna divvy up these cards and then start shuffling for the first pile. Okay. So pile number 1, and I'm just gonna do like how a lot of people do it and just like refer to it as pile 1. So for your reading, let's see what comes through. The first thing I'm noticing that I don't think I've ever noticed this detail on this king card is there's these like plants that almost look like mushrooms to me. Yeah, on the card that we would have chosen, so the King of Acorns, the horse, it's really like, I don't think I'll be able to show you because my camera quality is not good enough, but there's these little triangles on like sticks, but I've never noticed them before, and they really look like mushrooms because they aren't really mushrooms, they're just like weird background design, but they look like mushrooms. Okay, so the first 2 cards out in your reading are the 3 of Cups in reverse and 4 of Swords in reverse. I'm gonna clarify especially the 3 of Cups because that's an interesting one to me. I usually like to see that one upright, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It may just mean that you're spending more time by yourself or more time doing like, yeah, work related things. I'm sort of seeing maybe. Because yeah, to clarify, 2 of Pentacles, which is like balancing those finances, right? Balancing your money. So maybe with this, what I'm getting is maybe you're going out a little bit less, you know, because the 3 of Cups to me is like celebrating with friends energy. So maybe I would say in the month of July, you're spending a little more time on your finances. You're focusing a little bit more on your time and your money and, you know, balancing your time and your money. And 4 of Swords. Okay. Yeah. This feels like we're moving on from something. So you have the Four of Swords in reverse being clarified by the Five of Swords upright. So Four of Swords is typically like, it's like a waiting energy. This person, the way I always read it is, he's lying here, he's waiting, he has swords up on the wall, he's put away a bunch of his swords, his weaponry, but he still has a sword because he's still ready to go back into a fight. However, the Five of Swords, this energy is this guy, and like they're all leaving the fight. Those ones have abandoned their swords. He's picking up the leftover swords, and the fight's over. It's done. And this is coming through with Ace of Cups. So I feel like there's been a connection recently that maybe it's just you felt like you always had to be on edge. And I feel like at this point, maybe it's kind of like letting that go in this month of July, and like really moving forward in different areas, especially again, like I'm getting finance, work related stuff. I totally did this and forgot that I didn't have half my cards here. So I'm gonna just, oh, actually, might be in this bag. I love how, yep. I'm so organized that I can just find everything that I need immediately. It's not organization. It is the universe has put things in my way so that I see them and find them, because otherwise I will forget they exist. I love having ADHD, bro. Okay. Give me a card for... Oh, a few cards. Okay. Nope. Okay. Yeah. So, cards that are coming through for you. So, first of all, I mean, we sort of touched on it about some, like, you know, focusing on finances. And again, I'm getting like a connection that we're maybe walking away from. That being said, the King of Acorns is, I love this card. It's the horse. Horses are the king of stable energy. They represent the King of Pentacles. In this deck, the King of Acorns is the equivalent of the King of Pentacles. And I mean, the reason for it is literally like horses, they carry you on their back. They are strong enough that and grounded enough that they can carry things like a pack horse and that type of thing. Like those, we use them as pack animals for a reason. It's the same with like cows and oxes and those type of animals that are very like bulky and have like the four legs, because they are some of the most grounded, stable animals. And I mean, think of the fact that we literally call a stable a stable. Point and case. Just in a very funny roundabout way. Um but that card coming through, it, in this picture, the horse is rearing. The horse is, it's connected to the ground, it's rearing, it's ready to go. Again, I'm getting like a lot of movement in different areas, specifically probably that work area. Because yeah, like with the horse bucking, it feels like it's rearing up and then it's about to just start running. But because it's a horse and it has such a good grounded energy, like no matter where it goes, it'll be fine because it has that stable connection to the earth. Um, and that kind of ties into some of the cards that you got for the Green Witch Oracle I have. So for this, the one that's sticking out to me is the oak tree. So the oak tree is power, courage, strength. It's an oak tree's roots. Like it's so rooted into the ground and it builds up from that, and it's such a strong, stable energy. Again, like coming out with that King of Acorns, I really think there is a highlight for like being grounded and being in that stable energy, but at the same time knowing that because you come from that place that you can go forward. And then other cards from the Green Witch Oracle are Spring, which this is all about new beginnings and like again, picking up after a storm, it feels very much connected to this other energy of like letting go. Because in this picture, on this card, there's been a rainstorm and everything sort of, some of the eggs in the nest are cracked. They didn't make it, but the other ones are there. And then the plants are slowly starting to like level back up. And that's just like how nature recovers after storms, right? So I'm feeling like maybe recently, yeah, maybe you've been in a situation recently where things have felt honestly like a storm, like things just coming at you from one way and the next, wind blowing stuff in your face type of thing. And I think now there's sort of an ending that needs to happen with whatever energy that is, whether it is a connection or something else. And I feel like you'll probably be able to decipher what I'm talking about. And it's also coming through with chamomile, which is your gentleness, your relaxation, your sleep. So I think your messages really have to do with staying grounded and remembering like that relaxation side, balancing. Yes, okay. With with the work, the Two of Pentacles is what came out. So that's a balance between things, and it has to do with finances. So yeah, I'm thinking they're really trying to highlight staying balanced and saying like in a grounded energy with the choices you make financially, with um maybe like balancing your work life routine so that you can build something that's really sustainable and really stable for yourself. And yeah, like I'm my voice is hitching as I say that, which usually happens for me sometimes when I'm sort of on the right track. Um and yeah, I'm gonna maybe pull a couple clarifying cards for this connection, because I really want to like, I feel like whatever connection it was really hard just with the swords. And because the swords are a very fighting energy, but they're also a very mental energy, so it feels like maybe it was something that had a lot to do with perceptions, with truths. Oh gosh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. The first the Tower, first card out. So yeah, and the Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Swords. It feels like, I feel like maybe you tried to give this person stability, tried to give them a gift, tried like I'm getting gift, but I'm also getting like maybe it was just like stable energy, like it's coming through with the Knight of Pentacles. So it's that, again, that like financially abundant, stable, grounded energy. So I'm getting maybe you approach the situation with that, and I'm getting an Emperor with the Knight of Swords. So I think perhaps there was someone who probably presents more masculine, but doesn't have to be. But I think they approached the connection with this fighting energy instead of that very grounded, very just like pause energy. And then the overarching theme is the Six of Cups in reverse. Um, and the Six of Cups in reverse, it's all about forgiving and healing, honestly. And that coming out in reverse, I feel like we're not at a point where we can forgive and heal. And that's because, if I had to make a guess, because we're still sort of dealing with the aftermath of the storm. Um, and that, like, nature is one of the most beautiful examples of how to heal, because nature will go through a storm, and for the next like Think about it. Think like after a storm for the next little while, everything's dead. Quiet. Like everything's bent at a place, everything's quiet. Birds aren't singing, and then occasionally you hear that one little chirp. And it's just the one little chirp. And then slowly, slowly, as time goes on, you start to hear it. And there's more birds, there's more animals, the bugs start coming out again, everything starts to just open back up. And part of that is just time and distance from that storm, right? You can't expect a flower that was just pelted with rain for like 20 minutes to just pop back up. It can't do that. It needs time to rebuild the internal structures that were damaged. And with the Six of Cups also talks a lot of like childhood wounds. So I feel like, especially with the Emperor coming out, whoever this is, maybe it has something to do with a family member, but also I would say whatever connection this is, they probably reflected a very deep um childhood wound to yourself. Or as you continue to heal from the situation will. Um and yeah, I would say it's probably related to your more uh uh, fraternal, yeah, your fraternal parent wound, so your father. Yeah. Um I think that's where I'm gonna leave this reading. I'm gonna try and remember sort of how many cards thereabout I pulled. But obviously I sort of read with whatever comes out is what I'm gonna read. Um, yeah, no, I feel like something, um, I feel like you're in a phase where it's really time to focus on balancing things out and self, just because as I've been through a healing process recently with something where I've had to delve into and process a lot of childhood trauma. And I know from that, it takes so much out of you. And I think that's why like balance and rest is being highlighted here with everything else, is because you are like, I was talking about jobs and work, but I think it's more of a make sure you're balanced in how you're approaching your jobs and work, because during that healing process it takes so much energy. And sorry, I grab my chest when I'm channeling sometimes because of my tattoo. It represents my brother, but that just, the fact that I'm channeling and he's coming through, it really, he highlights rest and healing for me as well. um I do believe this is probably very much about a fraternal father wound. Because yeah, and just work-life balance, I think, is really important, and balancing your energy with your friends. I believe that's sort of the best place to end off with everything. Yeah, I was ending it and then I like had to reiterate. So I don't know, maybe somebody needed to hear that one more time just to get it through. Yeah, so I'm gonna move on to the next pile here. So this was your reading. Hope it like landed and enjoyed. I don't really know what I'm doing and like what I'm allowed to say at this point. Like I don't know, like can I just be like, I don't even know. But I just feel at this point that I'm very much like dancing around subjects. That might, I hopefully I get more confident as I go, but for now, that's your reading. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed. Gonna move on to the next one. Okay. Um, okay, so the next one, the chariot. Pile two. Chariot. I the rhinoceros. Funny enough, I actually feel like whatever message comes through for this pile might relate to my own life. So let's see. Ooh, I'm gonna need to get food here soon. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, got lost for a second. Not, I just couldn't remember what cards I had pulled for the last one, and I totally, okay. Okay, pile two. Um, yeah, so the first thing that I saw was the Fool. Which is taking a leap of faith, right? The Fool, and then coming through is with the Fool is the Nine of Swords in reverse, Queen of Swords in reverse, and the Hanged Man. So immediately I'm pretty sure this is the pile that my guides are gonna relate to me. With the Hanged Man and the Queen of Swords in reverse, I'm getting that there's some kind of high logical feminine in your life that is maybe stuck on a perspective and can't shift their or is working. Well, no. No, I'd say they're stuck on it. That being said, with the Fool going into new beginnings and the Fool coming out with the Nine of Swords in reverse, I'm getting for that, like, take the leap of faith. If you've been wanting to, like, get out of your room and do something or try something new, I would say do it. It's, it's that energy of just, like, not being stuck inside your own head and being free, being able to go out and do whatever it is that is currently attracting your attention, right? The Fool, he's kind of fleety with his where he directs his eyes. He sees something new and he goes, "Ooh, I like that." And like it's like a ooh. So let's pull a couple cards from this deck. Okay. We have, yeah, freedom, opportunity with the birds, and leaves, renewal, revival, and progress. Yeah. So for July, I'm thinking, first of all, I I think that there's a situation with someone. For me, I'm gonna use my own life. I would say that this is probably my current situation with my mother. Where there's a feminine of some kind, not necessarily a woman, but someone who stands in that more feminine energy. And she or they, sorry, wow, sorry, relating it to my mom just made me go woman. Um, but whoever this is, I'm getting that whatever perspective they have isn't coming from actual logic. They think it is, but it's like sort of a their own perception of logic that isn't really that logical. And it's giving like I refuse to see things differently. Um, which is really hard, and I will get maybe some guidance on that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate. So we're having the five of wands and the eight of pentacles in reverse. Yeah, this isn't something you can change at this time. Like you can work on it, but you're not gonna be able to finish it. it yeah, it really just no, like it's just gonna be a fight no matter what you do, I feel. And I think that that queen of swords in reverse, whoever that is identifying in your life, I think that they just aren't ready for the changes that need to be happening. Um, and then, so that's one situation. And then I think for the rest of your cards, any like new passion projects, any new beginnings, I'm getting like really take time to consider and like try and move forward with those, because you have the Chariot, which is all about dedication and progress, and you have the Lose, which is progress. Um and then the Fool, which is freedom of opportunity and all that. So it really gives off like any new beginnings you jump into will probably, I would say, lead somewhere. At least lead somewhere. I can't read the future fully, but I would say good shot. Okay, I feel like that was super quick compared to the first one. But maybe that's just because I know what's going on with my own situation, so I don't want to read into it too much. Oh, but yeah, sorry, the Fool just like flew out again. New beginnings, guys. Your July is definitely, I think, gonna have a lot of new beginnings, and I would just take a step away from the Queen there and just give space, because sometimes reflection of self genuinely can be the best teacher for people if they just have a little bit of space to look at themselves. Sometimes that can be the best. That being said, I'm gonna move on to pile 3. Pile 3 is the Shadow. So I'm really interested in this one because this card itself is all about like the shadow, the shadow self, um, and really like getting in touch with sort of the sides of ourselves that we hide from people. Which is quite funny so far. What's coming out here? Yeah. So we have the Hermit, and we have the Page of Swords, and we have the Three of Pentacles. Clarify, or not Three of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. Clarify. Okay. So interesting. I think perhaps we are closing a cycle of overgiving in the month of July. And I think some of that comes through self-reflection with the Hermit and seeing options, okay? So I think in your July, you're gonna really need to focus on the options you have. And I'm getting, because what else came out is the Six of Pentacles, the World, the Page of Swords, and the Ten of Wands. So with the Six of Pentacles, I'm getting this message, again, like overgiving, maybe people pleasing, maybe giving more than we have the capacity to give, right? And the reason why I think our options are being highlighted is because it's sort of telling us like, don't put all our eggs in one basket, right? You can look at other options. You can see what's available in your life. Because if you dedicate everything to one spot, one person, one thing, um you always run the risk of something happening. And like obviously that doesn't mean like, I'm not like, if this is a relationship, I'm not saying like go cheap or anything, Jesus. But you know, like if you're not in a committed relationship, you and say you have someone that like you're talking to, but you're not committed yet, and they're not committing. Don't sit there and wait for them all puppy eyes, you know? Like, don't give them a relationship when they don't want a relationship. And don't give them a relationship if they're not willing to confess that they want a relationship. Um like and again, that's just like relationship aspect of this, right? Like this can go into so many different areas of just like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you're looking at houses, talk to different people. Make sure that you're looking at the different houses in the area. Don't just see one that you really like and go, that has to be the one. Because what happens if you don't get that house then, right? You haven't looked at the other options, so you don't even know where to go next. And then also, yeah, with the Page of Swords and the Ten of Wands, I feel like you're worried that you're doing it wrong. If that fits at all. Like, it feels like maybe you're working hard on stuff, but you're worried that no matter how hard you work, you're not going to get there. Yeah, I'm going to pull from this deck and get some clarification on that one specifically. Oh, that was very nice. Invigoration, empowerment, potion. Yeah. No, I feel like maybe you're so worried that you're doing things wrong that it's starting to make you do things wrong, if that makes sense. And I can't say that word correctly, just makes that funnier. But with the potion, like empowerment, like you are strong. You are able to do more than you think you can, and you just have to be willing to step out that door and start. Even if it's hard, like as you go, you can figure out how to do it better. I don't know where to go from this. I feel like I did a really long like first reading, and then with the other two I'm just like, yeah, like this is kind of the vibe, and then like left it. Which feels weird. I don't know. I get more clarification on Queen of Wands. Yeah, okay. Step into your confidence. Like, I really feel like you are a person that overgives to people out of just like fear of not being good enough. Yeah, I'm getting heavy feelings of not being good enough. And I think that's why you're being told to reflect on your options, is because through options, you can sort of see that this is, I mean, this sounds bad as I say it, but think about it. If you're somebody who's never had people want to date you before, you're not gonna think that people want to date you. However, if you've had like a bunch of people be like, yeah, no, like ask you out and shit, like you're gonna be like, people want to date me, right? That's just how that's in your head. And like in my own life, like I've always been afraid of not being enough. And I at one point was asked to reflect on my life and think about literally how many people had ever like wanted to date me. Like, and I sat with it and I went, oh, like yeah, I didn't get it at the time, but yeah, there was a lot of people who were interested in me, and that shows that like inherently I am valuable without that, obviously. But it was that sort of made me go, oh, so other people do see me as valuable, right? Um, so and I think that's just sort of what you're being highlighted with like the hermit and the options. And other than that, like I feel like really like step into your power, babes. Like you are stronger than you think. Um, and you're more capable than you think. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think these are the messages. This is shorter than the last one that I did. And I did 3 separate readings here. But I think that's good. The last video was way too long, and that's because my freaking guides gave me a situation that was related to me and didn't let me know that that's what we were talking about until 40 minutes in, basically. So I didn't know. And they just kept having me read it until I, like, blunt force went, huh, this sounds like. And then they went, yes, there you go, you figured it out. Anyways, that's just a side rant. I'll probably like label this ending part. I'm just gonna like keep talking and label the ending part as like a side rant, and then like anybody who wants to listen to it can. Cause like I'm not gonna like cut myself off. I refuse. I'm too fun for that. I'm joking. Well, I do like to have fun a lot, and I try to be a fun person. Um, what am I even talking about at this point? Yeah, I don't think I have here. You know what? For anybody who stayed to listen to my rambling, I'm gonna pull some extra cards because it's probably just gonna be my friends. If I had to guess. Uh-oh, we don't like this. Oh. Oh no, what's happening? Heartbreak? We don't want that. Oh. Okay. Wait. Verify heartbreak. Is it? Is it? Is it? Yeah. That's funny, bro. So, to all my friends, we have for heartbreak, clarified heartbreak, we have help, Knight of Swords, and the Emperor. So, we're having the oh, that's funny, and the heartbreak's coming through with the independent, like, female energies. I think someone might be upset that I, like, don't care. And it's really funny, but oops. Anyways, this one's just for my friends and anybody else who's crazy enough to listen to that.